Hi everybody. Good morning. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as Scholar in Residence and Rabbi for UJ Federation New York. It is Friday morning, and just last night we said goodbye to Pesach. I'm assuming some families did what mine did and made sure that there was some chametz, some kind of pizza or cereal or bread or something readily available. I took a chance this morning and didn't bring the lamp that I typically do because I wanted just to have this glorious. It's a strange moment in all of our lives, and so what we aim to do every morning is begin together. Begin with a little bit of purpose, begin with a little bit of song, a little bit of Torah. Tonight's going to be Shabbat, and so I don't know. Moments blend into each other, but I'm grateful that we have days that have different names. That itself feels like a really rare and important kind of blessing. So why don't we begin together? Here's a blessing for learning. Then we'll learn a little bit of Torah from this week's Torah portion together, and we'll take it from there. See where we go. Good morning. So, first of all, I gotta say, I hope that you are near the sun wherever you are sitting. And if you're not near it now, when we're done, please go take a walk. Let it in. I cannot tell you, and probably don't need to, what an unbelievable joy it is to feel the sun warm my face as I look at some faces on my screen. It's good to see that you're here. It's also good to see that you're talking to each other. If you wish to just say hello, you could say good morning the way Shira and Jane and Amy and Adrian, both Adrians, are doing right now. Hi, Tammy. There's something really beautiful about right now. So maybe you'll do what I'll do, and I could use it this morning. I'm just going to take a deep breath, and I invite you to do it with me. Just one. You know, we're told when you look at the beginning of the Torah, there are two different versions of the creation story. And the biggest difference between the two is where people are positioned. Are we the center of all of creation? Are we the final thing created? Or are we created as part of nature? I think this teaches us right now that we are part of nature. We are part of the world. We are interconnected. And this world is not about us. What an incredible, complicated reminder it can be. This week's Torah portion has some very, very intense elements. I'm really excited to get back to Torah. Honestly, it makes such a big difference to be honest about the Torah, so that when we look for the inspiration, we're doing so from a grounded place. Now, you and I don't need reminders about the world. We are certainly in it. You are home. I am home. We are saving lives just from being right here. The Torah portion this week is called Shemini, and it is a big deal. All Torah portions are big deals, but this one, especially in this moment, is pretty intense. So what I want to do is a little bit more serious than I typically offer at 9 o'clock in the morning, even with such good friends. And Adrian, thank you for reminding me how beautiful it is to be recognized. So Lisa and Barbara, Stacy, Diane, it is good to have you here. I'll do my best while holding my train of thought to make sure to look up and see that you're there. I gotta say, that's really why I'm doing this. The Torah, of course, is so important, but we as a community, I gotta tell you, getting up in the morning, know I'm gonna be able to be connected with all of you. Hi, Stephen. Hi, friend. You're across town, so I'm waving. Stanley. So, there's something about Parshat Shemini this week that is very, very complicated. Here's a story. We spent most of the end of the book of Exodus dedicating and creating the Mishkan, the portable tabernacle that is in our lives for 40 years in the desert. That tabernacle, in the center of it, is where Moses and Aaron will encounter God. It's the center of our universe, what philosophers call the axis mundi, and it is important to get it right. So we build it, and with care and with vision, with instruction, we get it right. On the day of the dedication of the tabernacle, God appears, as it were, with a cloud, and we know it works. The eighth day, after it's completed, we have a big dedication moment. Hi, Liz. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Randy. Hi, Barry. God, let's stay connected. When we are through all this, I know I'm digressing, when we are through all of this, can we try to talk to each other more often? Can we find each other at 9 o'clock in the morning and learn Torah, or just notice each other's faces? As you will be walking down the street, please God, we'll walk down the streets again together. Isn't it intense and powerful and wonderful to imagine that we won't rush past each other? We'll just see each other. Lori, Mazel Tov on the anniversary of your bat mitzvah. I won't imagine how many years ago it was. Not with you. I know when mine was. That's long enough ago. Hi, Jeff. So when the eighth day after the dedication of the tabernacle happens and the Mishkan happens, we see something strange. All of these sacrifices that are meant to be offered are offered. It's in the place that was meant to be built, and a fire shoots out from before God, the text says, and devours these sacrifices, which means it works. It's another way of saying it works. It's an incredible thing. We built something that God told us to build. It does what it's supposed to do. We offer the sacrifices, and it works. What an unbelievable thing. Two children of Aaron, Nadav and Avihu, are so something about this, so excited about this, so literally inflamed by the experience, that they themselves bring what the text calls an Eish Zara, a strange fire. Many, many songs by the Indigo Girls and poems by philosophers have been written about what makes something a strange fire. But it was not commanded. It was an offer. It was an offering from their hearts. The text doesn't understand why what happens, but it doesn't offer an explanation. But what happens is, just as the sacrifices that were commanded were devoured by a fire that shut out from God, so too were Nadav and Avihu devoured by a fire. Vatetzei esh milifnei Adonai, a fire shoots out from before God. It is a really, really awful part of the text. I share it with you for a number of reasons. One of them is it's there, and the Torah doesn't hide it. At least it would be great to continue learning daily. We got to find a way. Kim, Andrea, Hedy, hi. Yes, Andrea, you can wear your slippers when we learn at 9 in the morning. Ellen, thanks for taking a walk with all of us right now. What I want to share is that the Torah doesn't hold back the hard parts, and it is our sacred center. When the Torah walks around, and obviously not alone, but when someone carries the Torah around a sanctuary, we face it, we kiss it. It is so important to recognize that this is not a simple thing. To be in love with the world and to see its hard parts takes courage. To wake up in the morning knowing that the world is not going to be a simple place takes courage. To emerge from 8 days of Pesach and to know that tonight is Shabbat, that also takes courage. So I want to offer you a few different understandings of what Nadav and Avihu's father does. Nadav and Avihu die. We don't quite know why. The Midrash suggests they must have been drinking. They had to have done something wrong. We don't really know. It might be that they were so excited by what they saw, they just wanted to offer something new and innovative. I don't know how to make sense of the text. And in fact, that's part of what I want to offer right now. I don't know how to make sense of this world right now. I don't see religious meaning in what's happening, even though we can derive meaning and create more meaningful lives. Think about what this moment calls you to see. It might be different for you than it is for me. When Aaron sees what happens, when he witnesses firsthand his sons offering a gift from their hearts and it going all wrong, the text says two words that could occupy universes of books. Vayidom Aharon. He was silent. How can you be silent when you see the wrong thing happening? We look in when we do the wrong thing and we have a conscience. We notice when the wrong thing is happening in the world and when something god-awful, and I have to tell you, I've heard stories, and probably you have too, from friends and colleagues, journalists, about our leaders, our heroes, who are on the front line saving lives and what they are experiencing. It's important for us to acknowledge that part of what's going on as we seek meaning. Those who seek meaning and say, this is the great pause and God is sending a message. How do I make sense then of all the losses? God is sending a message and those losses are okay. They're worth it. They're part of a greater plan. I can't see it that way. That's not a God with whom I relate. Aaron doesn't offer an explanation for his own suffering. He doesn't. Vayidom Aharon literally means he was silent. He sees the worst thing in the world happen and he is silent. How powerful it is to give yourself permission not to offer an answer to what's happening right now. There's no answer, but I gotta tell you, waking up in the morning and seeing my friends Susan and Deborah, hi Shari, hi Linda, we have each other. I don't know what all this means, but I do know what this means. I can't explain away the hard parts of the Torah, but the Torah doesn't ask me to. The world isn't asking us to explain away this moment. The world is asking us to get up in the morning and notice the sunshine, to look for each other, to wear our slippers, to seek meaning, to have Shabbat. So on Shabbat we are told we have an extra soul. And the word in Hebrew for soul is neshama. Now for me, that is among the most holy names I know. It's my wife's name. Neshama is related to the word nishima, which means to breathe. We, when we were created, remember those two versions of the Genesis story? The way it's told in the Torah is God breathed life into us. So every time you breathe, you are replicating an act that created life itself for humans. So here's what I'd ask us to do. We did it once before. Just take a breath. Take a breath. Just before I breathed, I saw Adrian's question, and I was planning on winding down this morning, and I will in a moment, but Adrian just asked, how do we maintain faith? You know, there are people I turn to with that question often. There are survivors I know, there are a few liberators I know, and I've heard this answer from them. I've heard the answer, we've had it worse. Now, I don't say that lightly, and I don't say that from my own personal experience, but I do know that while this is very hard, my children are okay. I do know that my neighbors who are Jewish and who are not Jewish and people all around the world are in this together, and that is a different kind of experience. How do we maintain faith? I'm not quite sure that I have a formula, but I do know that I'm really, really grateful to be alive. not having an answer in some ways is my kind of faith right now. I don't know that that's satisfying. I don't know that that really answers the question. But I offer it with an honest heart. Aaron witnessing something that would shatter his faith was also the high priest called to serve and lead his people. Not having an answer, that is quite a powerful thing. So it might seem strange for a rabbi to, just before Shabbat, say, I'm not sure how to tell you how to maintain faith, but I'm just happy to see you. So if it's strange, it's strange, but that's really how I feel. This gives me faith. What I mean by faith is the act of breathing. Velmi said faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Well, then, given what I can't see right now and the things I'm hoping for, that's a lot of faith. Yeah, Susan, you just inspired me to ask a question of everyone. While I sing us out, Susan Saladubin just said, this Jewish community helps me maintain my faith. How about if something's giving you faith right now, you just write it in. This will be recorded. Once we're done going live, all of these have been archived on the UJ Federation of New York Facebook page. So why don't you think out loud? See if this space can be a good one for you to experiment with words and with faith and with hope. 2:00 this afternoon, by the way, 3 community rabbis and I and our CEO, Eric Goldstein, are going to be coming forward and sharing an Erev Shabbat together. Maybe just before that, we can all look at the answers that we offered each other, the open hearts we brought to each other. It's really, really good to be together. So let's sing our way out. Wish each other a Shabbat Shalom. Maybe we'll see each other at 2:00 today. Have a good day, everybody. Good morning. Shabbat Shalom.